Yes, good afternoon. So now we come to the point of time when we wanted to have a presentation by Dr. Kuni Sakamoto of the Japan Society for the Promotion of Sciences, for the Promotion of Science, rather. And the presentation is on the Grant and Aid for Scientific Research B, entitled Renaissance Culture and Japan's Christian Century, 1550 to 1650. Please.
Thank you very much for Dr. Watanabe's introduction. And yeah, I would like to first thank Professor Ito for giving me an opportunity to introduce our project here in front of the members of the ITT and the Japanese Society for Renaissance Studies and the Institute of European Medieval and Renaissance Studies. Our project, Renaissance Culture and Japan's Christian Century from 1550 to 1650, just started this April, as Ken, the director of the project, gained a 3-year funding from the government. The project aims to promote the collaboration among Renaissance studies scholars and those of Japanese history. As an avenue of collaboration, it focuses on the diffusion of Renaissance culture and the transmission of ideas from Europe to Japan and other East Asian regions. Particular attention will be paid on how people of the time conceived of man and nature and the relationship between the two. So the project will be mainly concerned with anthropology, psychology, philosophy, medicine, science, and other related fields. To illustrate the cultural interaction between West and East during these 100 years, let me talk about 3 key persons who are the current focus of our research. The first is Alessandro Varignano, who, as a visitador of the Jesuits, stayed in Japan 3 times. During his stay, he tried to introduce Western learning to the country as an effective means to train local people as Catholic bishops. He will be, as you know, the subject of Ken's talk, so let me move quickly to the second person. The second person I'd like to mention here is Luis de Granada. He wrote in 1584 the introduction to the symbol of faith. This work was partially translated into Japanese and published at Nagasaki in 1611. Although this translation was believed to have been lost for a long time, Dr. Yoshimi Ori, one of the members of our team, found its manuscript in 2009 at the Harvard University Library. You can see here an unexpected connection between Japan's Christian century and Harvard University, with which the Villa Italy is affiliated, of course. I'd like also to take note that Granada referred to the doctrine of the Florentine Platonist Marcio Ficino. This fact, first I think pointed out by Ken, indicates that the most salient feature of Renaissance philosophy was already transmitted into Japan some 400 years ago. And it was from Florence, the city where, as you know, the Villa Italy is now located. The third person The third and last person I'd like to mention here is the Spanish philosopher Pedro Gomez. He wrote a textbook for use in the Jesuit college in Japan. The treatise, entitled Compendium, was completed around 1593 and translated into Japanese about 2 years later. It consists of 3 parts. The first part is Phyla, is a detailed exposition of the Western cosmology of the time. The next one, the Anima, is basically devoted to Aristotle's natural philosophy. The third part, Compendium Catholicae Veritatis, explicates the Christian teaching as a whole. So, in this work, Gomez made the first systematic attempt to introduce Western science and philosophy into Japan. The analysis of his work and its translation, therefore, will enrich our understanding of what kind of knowledge the Jesuits taught to the Japanese faithful and how they rearranged and retailored their learning to the local and traditional ways of seeing the world. So, even this brief overview is, I think, enough to show that the promising avenues of future research will be opened up by looking at how the Renaissance culture was transmitted into Japan. The current state of our research will be presented and shared at the conference that will be held at this university this July. If you want to know about this conference, if you want to know more about this conference, please check the website of the project. The site contains information about forthcoming events and publications, and the URL of this website is on the postcard that is at the entrance of this room. So please get it. Lastly, as the last, I'd like to introduce the new academic association. We are now organizing Japanese Association of Renaissance Studies. So conceiving the Renaissance in the larger time span from circa 1300 to circa 1650, it aims to unite Japanese scholars, aspiring for international exposure by supporting them as a gateway. It also seeks faithful interaction with medieval and early modern studies, seeing the Renaissance culture in broad and multidisciplinary ways. Under these and other agendas, JALS will promote new and original research and academic events. I hope that everyone interested in the Renaissance culture and its remarkable interaction with the tradition of this country will join our group and project. Thank you for your attention.
Yes, and so we now